Hi, I'm Joe Chili. Mornings from 7 to 9 on Buffalo's oldie station, the Big Wack. Joining us on the Big Wack's Buffalo on the Rise today is attorney Vincent LoTempio, and we're talking trademark and copyright, patent attorney, really, for all intents and purposes, right? Patent attorney.
Exactly, yeah.
Is that the way that we would normally describe you? That's the best descriptor?
Yeah, intellectual property in general, it constitutes trademark, patent, and copyright. But I'm a registered patent attorney. You know, you need to have a specialized license to practice as a patent attorney, and there's very few of us in the Western New York area, and that's one of the reasons I became a patent attorney, is because it was my own little niche. But yeah, you know, I do a lot of trademark and copyright as well.
It did take a long time to study for something like that. It says especially after you become an attorney, you have to take one more step?
Well, yeah, it's just another bar exam. And,
another bar.
Yeah, in order to qualify for the bar exam, you have to have the equivalent of a bachelor's degree in some sort of science. So you need, in most attorneys, you know, they go to school, they have political science background, they don't have a science background in like chemistry or biology, and I have a background in chemistry.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting. And now, we wanted to talk today, and you were mentioning this to me, about registering a brand with Amazon. So describe this for me. Why is this important, and how do people go about doing that?
Yeah, so first thing, you have to have a registered or an applied for trademark to be part of this program. And you know, it's something that's relatively new, and what happens is there's so many people, I think there's 400 million subscribers to Amazon, and so many people that are actually selling their products through Amazon. And what happens is trademarks and what your brand is very competitive, and people steal your ideas and steal your brand and use your brand. And what happens is they'll make a complaint. Oh, Joe Chili's put a new product up there and he's using my brand. And Amazon doesn't know who's really the owner of it, you know, but you have two parties making this claim. So what they've done now is they have this free program through Amazon that you could register your trademark with them, and this way there's no arguments anymore. You can prove that it's your trademark, and they're not going to let anybody else put your brand on a product and sell it.
So will they actually check if somebody tries to go on Amazon and they're going to use the same name used or something very similar? Do they check, or do they wait until they get a complaint from you to check?
Yeah, so they'll know if you're part of the brand registry. They'll know instantly, and they won't let them even get on. But yeah, if it's not part of the brand registry, they just do it, and then they wait for the complaint. And that's how it's gone, you know, predominantly in the past. That's the way it's been handled. But yeah, this is something interesting. And the reason I thought of talking about this, I was on the call yesterday with one of my clients, CityMade, and Gary Staszewski, and he was telling me, you know, he works for all the local big companies because they put these baskets out and they sell them all over the country.
Like Buffalo made baskets, yeah, Buffalo made products.
Yeah,
things like
City made products, Buffalo, Rochester, and I think he's trying to expand to do it with different cities throughout the country, and I think that's why we registered City Made instead of Buffalo City Made. But he does it in Buffalo, and he sells these baskets, and I sent you some artwork to send up for his webpage, but he says he was working with Ted's Hot Dogs, and they didn't even know that you can do this, and it's a free thing. And he was, you know, telling them, you know, this is something you should probably do. And I thought, you know, that would be a good subject to talk to you about, and let the listeners learn that this is out there. A lot of people don't even realize it. Even, you know, big corporate clients don't even realize that that's available.
You know, and people say, I've had people tell me all the time, boy, I can't get Weber's mustard here, or something like that, because it's something that is unique to Buffalo, and they can't get it outside there, and they really miss it. You know what I mean? So I don't know, maybe Salem's Hot Dogs. I have no idea, but you know, yeah, different products like that. Interesting that you mentioned City Made, because I looked at some of the baskets, and I've seen this, like, you know, Best of Buffalo gift box and things like that. And we've done this for when we've had people come into town, like Jim Brickman or something like this. You know, and we've had someone come into town, and we're sponsoring their show or something like that, and we give them a Buffalo made basket because what more, you know, speaks Buffalo. So that's an interesting thing that you mentioned something like that. Now, is it that difficult for someone to get a trademark to begin with, or a patent, or?
Well, yeah, I mean, patent is a little bit more difficult than getting the trademark, but the trademark, and I was having this conversation with another client today that came up with this new idea that I'm not going to share on TV, but but I said to him, you know, it's not like a domain name where you can just sit on it. You have to be actively using it on a product in commerce. Now you can file a trademark with the intent to use it in the future. I got this great name for the new iPhone that I'm going to come out with, but I'm in the process right now of manufacturing, marketing, distributing the product, and we still haven't even, you know, got all that together yet. But I want everybody in the country to know that this is my idea and I came up with it. So what happens is you file your trademark application in that you have an intent to use it in the future. You're not using it yet, but you have an intent to use it. And basically that's a constructive notice to put everybody on notice that I came up with the idea first. So anybody that wants to use that trademark would have to prove that they were using it prior to the date that we filed our intent to use application. So what will happen is the trademark office will review your trademark application. It'll probably take them 6 or 7 months to do it. And then they'll say, okay, now show us how you're using it on your product. And if you're still not using it on a product by then, you can ask for an extensions of time. But if you're actually using the product now and you're selling it, well then you can fly for an application for actual use and you can get it. But again, as far as being hard, it has to be new. You know, nobody's using it already. And you know, there's all these different factors where they define whether you can get it or not. But you can have, you know, Ford gumballs and Ford motor cars. You can have Big Mac hamburgers and Big Mac trucks, and nobody's confused about the two. So even if the names are the same, it's still possible. Dove candy and Dove soap. It's possible that Domino's pizza and Domino's sugar, that you can still use it if consumers wouldn't be confused by the two names. So there's a lot of factors as to whether it's easy or hard. Some are easier than others.
All right, Vince, thank you very much. We really appreciate that. For more information and answers to your questions, contact Vincent LoTempio by calling 716-216-5000 or go to LoTempioLaw.com. Sponsorship and promotional consideration for the preceding segment was provided by LoTempio Law, and you can start your mornings with me 7 to 9 a.m. on The Big Way.